The 1980s for Im Kwon-taek, who had directed more than 70 films by the time, became very successful in the director's creative biography. He created a detective story about the aftermath of the Korean War, Pursuit of Death, two wonderful films about Buddhism, Mandala and Ascent, social dramas Gilsotteum and Tikkend, historical dramas Surrogate Mother and Life Prince Yeonsan, as well as adaptation of the classical Korean novel Adada. Let's get on of some of them. In 1981, Im Kwon-taek created the film Mandala. This is a religious and philosophical reflection on the influence of Buddhism on the life of modern Koreans. The movie Mandala is set in the 1980s, during the time of the military politicians. The film tells the story of three monks dedicated to the search for enlightenment during the dark years of a military dictatorship. According to canonical concepts, Mandala is a geometric model of the universe, but the director took a different interpretation of this Buddhist symbol. At the very beginning of the film, Im Kwon-taek explains to the audience that, in his understanding, Mandala is the autumn-winter meditation of Buddhist monks. Probably in the title of the film, the director had in mind the cult that gripped the souls of the contemporaries and bitter thoughts about modern reality. And perhaps Im Kwon-taek, in the title of the film, encrypted his hope that autumn and winter in the political life and destinies of South Koreans will certainly be replaced by the long-awaited spring. The most unexpected and expressive episode in Mandala is the spiritualization of the Buddha in a small mountain village. The hermit monk Po Bun and the drunk Isan are invited by the locals to open the shrine of the Buddha. A woman from a mountain village explains to the monks that she bought a statue of Buddha, but he needs to open his eyes to spiritualize the image of the deity. First, Po Bun explains to the woman that only a high-ranking priest has the right to perform this rite. But the woman insists that and promises to pay generously. Then Isan is called to open eyes to the Buddha. Having performed the rite of inspiring the Buddha, Isan delivers a sermon. In fact, he was trying to explain to women that just prayer requests are not Buddhism. According to Isan, Buddhism is not a religion. It is the belief in self-achievement, in enlightenment. And only Po Bun understands what his friend is talking about so penetratingly and tragically. After his sermon, Isan goes to the tavern and Po Bun goes to the scatter. In the morning, Po Bun went in search of a friend and found Isan frozen to death. Thus, all along, the drunken Isan attained enlightenment. Po-bun, with an assistant, brings the body of the deceased to the scatter and burns his remains. Po-bun prays while the fire burns, and after the burial of his son, the monk Po-bun again goes on a journey. In 1981, the film Mandala was awarded the Big Bell in the nomination Best Director. After the presentation of Mandala at international film festivals, many foreigners became interested in the works of director Im Kwon-taek. Drama Gilsotteum 1985 is a concentrated sadness of Koreans experiencing the tragic aftermath of the Korean War. The reason of the creation of the film was the program Does Anyone Know This Person? The authors of the program planned to help the citizens of South Korea find their loved ones, whom they lost during the Civil War. Hundreds of separated family members came to KBS after the show aired. Im Kwon-taek's Gilsotteum is the first film in Korean history that tells the story of the tragedy of a husband, wife, and their son who lost each other during the Korean War in 1953 and only met 30 years later. In the film, Im Kwon-taek refuses the usual female image, as well as any idealization of it. He shows in the real experiences of women. This unexpectedly strict and sober attitude of director Im Kwon-taek towards the idea of family reunification was supported by the South Korean society. The film Gilsotteum was commercially successful. In 1986, the first time in his career, Im Kwon-taek received the Korean Association of Film Critic Awards in the Best Director nomination. This was a universal recognition of the skill of one of the best directors of the Republic of Korea. The melodrama Ticket, 1986, is a story about women working at a cafe in the port city Sokcho. Im Kwon-taek called his film Ticket because of the following. Over time, especially in the provinces, cheap cafes were bought out by age prostitutes and called them coffee on ticket. It was illegal prostitution, working like a tea or coffee delivery. A girl with a ticket where the address of the customer was indicated was sent with a bundle with a thermos, bags of instant coffee and sugar to the client to provide sexual services. The main character is Madam Ming. She has her own cafe which employs coffee delivery girls on a ticket. Madam Ming has 4 girls. They distribute coffee throughout the city to those who buy tickets from Madam Ming. In 1987, the film Ticket was awarded by the Association of Korean Film Critics in the nominations Best Film, Best Director, Best Actress. One of the most significant films directed by Im Kwon-taek in the 1980s was the historical drama Surrogate Mother, 1987. With its unusual blend of Korean classical painting and soft erotica. Im Kwon-taek was brought up by a Confucian grandfather and learned Confucian traditions from childhood. In the film Surrogate Mother, the director shows in detail the process of procreation through the male line of the wealthy Confucian Shin family. During the Joseon dynasty, from 1392 to 1910, Koreans could have multiple wives and concubines, as could the Japanese and Chinese. Of course, only wealthy Yanban landlords could afford this. The main characters of the film Surrogate Mother are the elderly nobleman Shin Sang-gyu, his wife Yoon, and concubine Ok-nyo. According to feudal laws, only sons or close male relatives could inherit the property and nobility. Shin's wife was unable to give birth to a son, and therefore she herself chose the girl Ok-nyo as a concubine to perform a very important task, to give birth to a boy from the head of the family. 70 years old Ok-nyo has the social status of a servant, but her relationship with Shin changes both of them over the course of the film. Foreigners who saw the film at the 44th Venice Film Festival were struck by the beauty of magical rituals and Asian eroticism, in which there was so little of human pleasures. Im Kwon-taek's film is entirely devoted to an in-depth study of the complex mechanism of human desires and providence. Careful, idealized attitude to all folk signs, shamanic rituals, and cultural traditions give all the director's films a special style. The historical drama Surrogate Mother made a strong impression to all foreign viewers and received many awards at international film festivals, including the actress Kang Soo-yeon at the Venice International Film Festival, becoming the first Korean woman to receive the prize in the nomination Best Actress 1987 at the oldest European International Film Festival. In the same 1987, the film won prizes at the Asia Pacific Film Festival in the nominations Best Film, Best Director, and Best Supporting Actress.